I thought the panel discussion today was really vibrant actually, a great mix of both public and private sector conversation with some good audience interaction.
So there were some sort of fairly challenging questions about, not about digital and social, but actually about how transparency works within organisations and what that means. And that's the kind of conversation we need to be having more of.
I think this idea that social media will take us to transparency is an interesting one, because I think you've got to nuance out a couple of points there about how organisations feel about transparency and whether transparency is necessarily a good thing at all points. What I think social media does is it puts people on a journey towards being more transparent. So I don't think it delivers transparency, but it helps change the organisation, change the way the organisation thinks about issues, changes the way it engages on issues, and that leads you towards more transparency.
And it's often the case with these events that it's quite reassuring to discover that the public sector isn't behind the private sector and nor vice versa.
So while social media is part of the story, changes in technology, particularly the iterations of technology, will make a difference. I mean, commonly when I talk to police officers now, I say, is your technology better at home or better in the workplace? And you know that the story now is it's better at home than it is in the workplace. Well, that's a new position. We've never been in that situation.
Some of the things I took away today were more around how some public sector organisations are doing a great deal with kind of external social media. So kind of the police, for example, I learned so much about all the fantastic things they're doing. And I think the challenge now is how to broaden that across government, but also look at the ways that they can take that success externally and do that internally with some of their internal collaboration on social.
I need to be clearer about what we're using digital for. What are our priorities? The fact that we're not just managing a bunch of social media channels and websites, but actually we're looking to engage directly with the audiences that we need to speak to, and also acknowledge that I've kind of got a duty to get back to those people when they've helped us do stuff, to tell them how their input has influenced government policy, or the way in which we shape the schemes and initiatives that we offer.
The primary point where I think we ended up towards the end of the conversation was a discussion about norms in organisations and organisational norms and how do you set certain standards. So one of the discussions was about how do you empower your staff to use it responsibly, or how do you let go of control? And that to me is about setting the right norms of behaviour rather than trying to have a policy that says do this and do that.